Welcome back to the bench. Today I attempt to make a steel screw for my watch using the homemade die that I made in the last episode.
Now let me introduce to y'all, it's the one son of a musician, refuse to fall. Got the sun shining December when the blues be strong, cause I choose to be whatever, be the boom like mom.
In the last episode I made this threading die so I can secure the crown wheel of the watch that I'm making. But before I go on, I just want to explain something about screw threads first. So for a thread, there's two types of directions. You have the right-handed thread, which is 99% of all screws and bolts out there. And then there is the left-handed thread. So to remove a right-handed threaded screw, you have to rotate it in an anti-clockwise direction. And a left-handed screw, you have to rotate it in a clockwise direction.
It's all backwards. That's right.
Under normal operations, the crown wheel in my watch will rotate in an anti-clockwise direction. If I was to use a normal right-handed thread screw and there were any friction between the screw and the wheel, then it would just undo the screw. I've taken measurements of the existing screw for the crown wheel. It has a diameter of 3.15 millimeters for a depth of 0.35 millimeters, and there is a total depth to the screw of 1.23 millimeters. I'm really nervous and excited at the same time. It's been a lot of failures. It took a lot of time to get to this point. So these are Shoreline ones, which I buy as blanks, and then I create the recess in them so this can fit the die perfectly. The final operation to finish the screw is to create the slot for where the screwdriver goes. So let me show you the setup that I'm using to create that. So I'm using the cowl's dividing head attachment, and I've attached it to the vertical slide so I can move this up and down. I'm going to insert the screw through a collet and hold it in the dividing head, and I've got the sling saw attachment on the headstock, so this will be rotating. I move it up and down, create the slot in the screw. I had a 0.3 millimeter sling saw, which I believe is the correct size. However, I was tightening down this nut and it was just too much pressure and it snapped it. These are carbide, so they're quite brittle. So the machining of the screw is done. I'm going to harden and temper the screw right now. I have shown the hardening and tempering process on a lot of my videos, including the previous one. So I feel like that step is getting a little monotonous to show on camera. That being said, it's time to tap the plate and see if all this work is going to come together in the end. So if you saw my previous video, you'll notice I put this black liquid onto the die before I tapped it. This is actually some Castrol Molly D tapping fluid, which I purchased from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. But before we go any further, I want to show off some macro shots of the finish I got on the screw head. This recess around the crown wheel is actually a bit too tight. As you can see, it doesn't have movement. As you can see, I tested it without the screw and you know, it's the same result. As you can see, even with the screw out, it doesn't rotate properly. I need to add a little bit of extra room on the recess. I don't understand why I didn't test this earlier. Obviously, that's a little bit disappointing, but I think the project overall was super successful. In the last video, I made the die from scratch, only using a tap. In this video, I made the left-handed threaded screw from scratch using that die. It's a really amazing feeling because I went into the unknown and I made so many mistakes, weeks of mistakes, and just trying and trying again, always just trying something a little bit different. And in the end, I got there, and you know, minus the fact that the crown wheel recess is too tight, the screw functions as it should and it would work in the watch. So I'm going to fix that recess issue. The next time I make the screw, I'm going to do things a little differently. Obviously, I didn't have the correct slitting saw because I broke it, so there was a bit too much movement in the screwdriver, but this was just to see if it all came together and if it worked, and it did. If you can't tell, I'm super happy about the outcomes of this. I'm so grateful for you guys for tuning in to watch these videos. I hope you guys can take something away. I think there's a lot more to come out of this project that are going to be some real gems. I hope you guys stick around to see that. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see any of my upcoming videos, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or something you want to say, feel free to leave it in the comment section below.